Okay. Good morning, grade 5. Um, Ramadan Kareem for all of you. So today we are going to start lesson 2, which is talking about the motion of the ocean. It's nice, right? It's like it has a rhythm. Motion of the ocean, right? So we have three types of motions: waves, currents, and tides. From this picture, you guys can see. Can you predict what causes each motion? Like what causes the waves? What causes currents? What causes tides? Can you guess? Anyone?
Mm.
Guys, can you guess what causes the motions from the picture?
Waves,
Yeah, when the tectonic plates move,
I can't hear you, Kenzie. Can you repeat what you said?
when the tectonic plates move,
The waves. I just didn't
when
hear
the
the beginning.
plates move,
When the plates move,
yeah,
waves start moving.
yeah.
Is that what you meant? Yes, sometimes it can be caused by the tectonic movements of plates. Yes, well done. What do you think about currents, for example?
Miss, I know.
Yes, Amr,
Miss,
you
I
can
know.
say. Yes, you can answer this. No,
I wanted to say something also about waves.
you can say it.
Waves, by the movement of the air or the wind.
Yes, well done. By the movement of the wind. That's right. Yes. Some waves are also caused by the motion of the wind on the surface of the water. Well done. Thank you so much. Did you want to say something else?
Yeah,
Yes.
Miss, here. No, no, it's no.
Let me hide the box of the name so you guys can see everything. Yes. So for me, if I was for the first time seeing this picture, I would say this the exact thing that you guys said. Like waves can be caused by the tectonic movement or sometimes maybe by the wind. I would say the tides can be caused, I think the motion or the cause of tides may be related to the moon phases because we have a moon up there. So yes,
Miss, can I
picture.
say something about currents?
Yes, you can say something about currents.
I think currents it's caused by the flow of the electronics from one to another. Maybe
Well, what do you mean by electronics?
the electronic plates.
Well, we have nothing called electronic plates.
Um,
Tectonic plates?
no, yes,
Okay, well, tectonic plates can affect a lot of motion in the water, but currents can sometimes be caused by the different in density, which is this is why I didn't say the reason or the cause for currents yet. I just wanted to tell you guys what I would understand from just the picture. But thank you so much for sharing your information today. Thank you, Amr, and thank you, Kinsey, for sharing it. I hope everyone else would be sharing during the session. So let me move to the next slide. So can you guys see this? We know this movement. It's so famous. People do wave during football matches. Do you know this motion?
no.
Really? Haven't you ever seen it before? It happens during football matches. People start doing the wave motion. They start standing up and move the wave or cause the shape of a wave um, during the football matches. It's really famous movement. But what I want to say here is that can you guys see what's moving between these people? What do you think? Are the people themselves like moving from one seat to another? Or do you think it's like energy moving from one person to another?
energy because when someone moves, they're attached to each other. Because when someone moves, the energy that the energy in him comes to the person next to him.
Yes, well done. Well done, Am. Thank you so much. Yes. So it's like the energy moving between them. Well done. Thank you so much, Am. So if I move to the next slide, here is asking, have you ever done the wave like the one shown in the video? So some of us did, some of us didn't. I didn't do it before because I don't attend any football matches, but I've seen people doing it on TV. Anyway, if so, what do you guys think about how do the people move, and did the people move around the stadium, or it's the energy itself? So thank you, Amr, for answering this question. He says that in the wave, the people move up and down, but the energy is moving around the stadium. Like everyone in the stadium did the same motion. It's not like a real wave of people moving around. It's actually energy moving between them, not the people. Well done. Thank you so much, Tom. Okay. So it's just like the waves in the ocean. Okay. So what is a wave? A wave is the movement of energy through water. So it's like energy moving through the water, and this energy causes the shape of a wave. This is why we have waves in the first place, because it's like energy moving through the water. And this energy causes the shape of the wave, and more energy means more waves. Okay, so what if I wanted to say what do we mean by wave again? I would say it's the movement of energy during through the water. Okay, everyone, can you guys still hear
Yes,
me?
yes,
Okay, so again, waves or a wave is the movement of energy through water, as we said. And we have different other motions of the ocean itself. Like we had as at the beginning, you guys saw in the picture that we have three movements, and we are going to talk about them, what causes them. So we have waves at the first place, and now we know that waves are the movements of energy through the water. Okay, and then currents and then tides. We're going to learn about each one of them later. Okay, so what causes waves at the first place? Like Amr said, it's form from wind. Okay, so waves form out in the open ocean and travel inwards to the shore. So that means the movement or the energy that the wind carries. Do you guys know the difference between wind and air? Have you ever thought about it?
Miss, wind is strong air.
Yes, it's moving air. Well done, Amri. So the moving air is called
مثلا
wind.
ممدوح.
Yes, so air can be standing still or moving. So if it's moving, that means it's called wind. Thank you so much. So the wind
اسمها
itself, yes.
ممدوح.
Oh, Mamdouh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were Amr. Okay. So the wind, thank you so much, Mamdouh. Yes. So the wind is the moving air, and this movement always carries energy. Okay. So it's going to, because of anything moving, that means it carries energy. And because winds are so close to the surface of the water, this energy in the winds move to the water. So it will move through the water and they make what we call wind. And how does that happen? Waves form out on the open ocean, which means like, you know, do you guys know what do you mean by open ocean? It's like the open area
the
or the open
surface.
space of the ocean, the deep
So
parts, not deep.
the ocean that we can see or we can't see.
We can't see, like the one you cannot reach. It's like
Yes.
totally inside the sea or the oceans. And this energy starts moving toward the shore. Okay, toward the shores or the beaches, and that's why we start seeing the wave. Okay, we have one of the famous examples of waves which we call tsunami. And tsunami is really giant ocean wave. We can say very, very big ocean wave. and it can be caused by earthquakes under the ocean or on the ocean floor. So if I zoomed in here, you guys can see here the ocean floor or the bottom of the ocean. If there are sudden movements happening on the bottom of the ocean, these movements can actually cause really big waves like tsunami that we are talking about right now. It's, as you can see, guys, a big wave. Can you see a giant wave? And it can be so destructive, like it can destroy homes and kill people sometimes. So tsunami again is a giant wave, okay, and it can be caused by, so you think it can be caused by wind too, or we have other reasons?
Movement of the earth.
Yes, the tectonic movement. So now we can say that the waves can be caused by the wind, like Amr said, or by changes on the ocean floor, like Kinsey said, like the tectonic movement or sudden tectonic movement, plates moving so suddenly. This causes the formation of waves. Tsunami, as you guys can see, let me hide the box of names. Okay. So, tsunami approach the shore, which means get closer to the shore, and the waves come closer together and grow into a mountain of water. And this mountain can reach to up to 16 meters, which means like as the size of a building. Can you imagine how big the waves can reach?
Yeah.
It's so destructive and it's so dangerous. Okay. So that was one of the movements we're talking about, the waves. Okay. And if I wanted to draw a diagram of waves, I would do this simple diagram showing the waves, as you guys can see.
Miss,
Okay.
is there a tsunami happened in real life?
There is what?
Is there a tsunami that happened in a real life?
Yes, a lot of tsunami, a lot of accidents, and they especially happen in the areas where south of Asia, like southern east of Asia, well, like China, Japan, Indonesia,
Yes.
those areas. Yes, because they face a lot of earthquakes most of the times. A lot of waves happen, or tsunami happens to them, and they can be so destructive that a lot of people can actually, face death during tsunami. And yeah, it's so dangerous. If we still have time at the end, I'm gonna show you guys some real pictures of tsunami, and I will upload videos on the SMS for real accidents that happened by tsunami. And I believe some of them will be so simple, and others will be so dangerous. Okay, dangerous one, you will not find a lot of photos for because it's so destructive, as we said. So if I wanted to draw a wave, I draw it with a simple diagram showing the high points and the low points, and the difference between or the distance between the both of the high points, as you guys can see. But you're gonna skip this part because you're not supposed to study it this year. But I just wanted to show you how simple the diagram can be shown, and from this diagram we can actually measure how strong the wave was, or how high the wave was, or the amount of energy that caused the wave. Then we have tides. Can you guys see the picture?
Yes.
Yes, can you see it clearly?
Yeah, but I didn't understand. What
Okay.
are tides?
Okay. Can't you see the difference? Can you sense the
I know
difference?
what are tides, miss.
Yes.
Tides is when the water goes like far from the sea, from land.
Okay. We can mention it like Schlock said. Okay, Schlock, thank you so much. But can you guys sense the difference? It's like Schlock said,
Yes.
sometimes it can be the water of the sea can be so near to the people, like the shore itself can be so small, or it can be so far, like the picture on the right. Okay. Yes, Ami, you can say it.
From the picture, I think it's the rise of the sea levels.
Yes, well done. It's the sea level changing, being so high or so low. So again, if you guys spend a whole day on the beach, you can actually see this phenomena. You can see the water being closer to you, and then maybe after 6 hours or less, they are going to be so far that you need to walk a longer distance so you can get into the water. So as Amr said, thank you so much, Amr. It's the rise and fall of the sea level or the ocean level, okay, throughout the day. So this happens throughout the day. We can have a high tide where you can see the sea level is so high. So that's why the water is so close to the people. Or it can we can face low tide, which means like the water. Can you see guys how the water just went back? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, let me get the picture a little bit bigger for you guys so you can see. Okay. I hope it's a lot better now. You can see it way better. So can you see the difference? It's the same shore. It's the same beach. They didn't change the camera's position. It's still the same thing, but can you see how close the water is and how far the water is on the right? So we
Yes.
face or we can see high tide and low tide during the day, during the whole day. It happens during the 24/7. Every 6 hours there is a change in the tide. Like every 6 hours there is a new tide, which means, for example, in the first 6 hours of the day we can see the high tide, and then in the next 6 hours it will be low tide, and then in the next 6 hours the high tide will get back, and then in the next 6 hours the low tide will get back. So this is how we have 24/7. Okay. So during the 24 hours, we have different high tides and low tides. How many high tides and low tides can we face during the day?
Two.
Two. Well done. Yes. So we have two. We have two high tides and two low tides, and they happen every 6 hours. Well done. Thank you so much for getting this point. So, again, what do you mean by a tide? It's the movement of ocean water, and it happens as if the sea level is actually rising or falling. Okay, so what causes the tides? In the previous
We saw a
motion, when we talked about waves, we said again it's the movement of the water of the energy through the water, and it can be caused by wind or by earthquakes like tsunami or tectonic movements. And then we move to tides. What causes tides again? As I told
Miss,
you
can I say?
at the beginning, yes.
Sun, the temperature.
Okay, someone said the sun. Well, from the first
Temperature,
picture,
temperature.
the, the temperature itself, you think temperature has
Yes.
something to do with this?
Yes, if it's high, so the tide will go up.
Miss, can I say
Okay,
something?
it's nice theory. We'll see now. Check now if it's right or not the real one. But
Miss,
for
can I say
me,
something?
beginning of the yes.
What causes tides?
Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. I will get back to you. So from the the very first picture in this presentation, when I saw this picture of tides, I thought that maybe the moon is related to this motion. And some of you guys said it's the sun. Now let's hear Amr what he thinks causes the tides.
Gravity?
Gravity. Well done. Yes, it's the gravity. But what gravity? So, Mamdouh, I think it was Mamdouh who said the temperature, right?
تناحي.
Tanahi, okay. Why I am confused with your voices today? Why do you all guys sound to be speaking from the same person? Okay, so let me check if I have anyone in the waiting room because we still have some people in the waiting room right now. They just joined. Okay, so it's the gravity, like Amr said. Let me
Sorry,
get
Miss,
back.
عملت disconnect.
Okay. But it's what gravity causes this. So it's the gravitational pull or the gravitational force or the gravity of the moon and sun on Earth's water. So the sun and the moon keeps grabbing the water, like pulling it toward them because they have gravity too. But what causes it more is actually the moon. Do you know that? The moon is the one that controls it more than the sun. Can you guys guess why?
Why?
Okay. I was
I
asking,
don't
can you
know.
guess why would the moon have more power on causing tides on the Earth's surface than the water, than the sun? I'm sorry. Anyone?
Because
Can
it's
you
more
guys
close to
guess?
the Earth.
Yes, because what?
Because it's more close to the Earth.
Oh, well done, Tanahi. Yes, because it's closer to the Earth. See? So you guys can know it without me. It's right. Yes, it's the, again, gravity of both sun and moon. Both of them control the tides. But the moon is the one that, has more power over the Earth. And that's because it's way closer to the Earth than the sun. So, yes. But if I wanted to say what is the main cause of tides, I would say it's the gravitational pull or the gravitational force or the gravity of the moon. So, can you guys see how I use three different terms? So, again, if I'm asking you guys to write down a definition, you don't have to write it in the same way, just use your own words. Okay? Okay, do you get it? Everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just making sure that you guys can hear me because I think the internet connection today is pretty bad everywhere. So, yes, the gravitational pull, the gravitational force, or again, the gravity of the moon and sun causes the tides because they keep pulling the water toward them. Can you guys see this blue color around the earth is actually presenting the water? Can you see how it's being pulled toward the moon and the sun, and how if the moon changes its position, it will also be pulled toward the moon, and how the different positions of the moon can actually cause different tides.
I
So
thought
here we
this
have,
was
yes,
the atmosphere.
yes,
I thought
I thought it was
that
the
was the
atmosphere.
atmosphere.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
nice. Well, we still have an atmosphere, but here he was actually showing you the water. So here he's asking the same question I asked you guys. Just let me accept Reem because I think she's facing a problem in joining the meeting. I hope she will be able to fix it soon. So anyway, here's the same question. It says both the sun and earth are pulling at the ocean to create tides. So I think here he meant to say moon, but it was a mistake. Why do you think that the moon has a greater effect on tides even though the sun is much larger? So we supposed to know, like we learned from the previous years talking about moon, sun, and solar system, that the earth is actually being pulled or controlled by the gravity of the sun because sun is the
Yes.
largest object in the solar system, so it has the strongest gravity. In here, I think it's gonna be the moon. So let me change this one. Okay. So it's still the Earth, the sun is the larger, so that means it has stronger gravity, but still the moon is the one that controls it more. It's because what Tanahi said, because the moon is way closer to the sun, the Earth, I'm sorry, and that's why it has more power over it. In here, you have two pictures, also from the same possession or the same spot. Can you guys see how different the sea level looks like?
Yes, the tide
Yes. Can,
is
can you see the different
height,
colors? Yes. Which one is high tide? Which part?
the left one
Left or the right? The
on the
left.
left.
Yes, well done. Yes. The right is actually low tide. Can you see how the boat itself shows the difference? Like in the first place, I would say in the right picture, I would say why are they putting or putting this nice boat in dry land? But
Because
it's
there
just
is a low tide.
exactly, yes. Didn't mean to put it there. It's just the low tide happened, and that's why it's now stick to the ground. But once the high tide comes back, after how many hours?
6.
6 hours. Yes, well done. The high tide will be getting back, and the sea level will be actually more and more. So this is high tide. It happens 2 times a day when water rises up the beach the farthest. so we can still get the water near to the shore. And here we have the low tide, which happens also 2 times a day when water falls to its lowest level, or the water, we can say, gets back. This is what we mean by the low tide.
Yes.
We have other two different tides. We have spring tides and neap tide. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about spring tide, but you guys don't need to learn a lot about it because you're going to learn about this next year, talking about the solar system. You will also learn about spring tide and neap tide. But we can have just a quick, just review over it. The spring tides, they happen again 2 times a day when high tides reach their highest level. They happen when the sun, moon, and earth are in line. Can you see them? Well, here we have two moons because he wants just to show you the different positions of the moon. Of course, we don't have two moons, we only have one moon, but the moon can change its position around the earth. So he's just showing you that when the moon is in the middle between earth and sun, we will have springtide. And if the moon moved and it became behind the earth, but still in the same line with the sun, we still have spring tide. Okay.
Miss, I didn't understand when he said in line.
In line.
Yeah.
Okay, we can say, let me try to draw it for you. Here, put a line for you so maybe you can get it more. So can you see if I wanted to draw a line here? Let me change my pointer. Just wanted to, okay, yeah, I can use the one from the Zoom itself. Okay. So if I wanted to have a straight line, okay, it's in a white color. I'm sorry about that. Let me change it into red so you guys can see. Can you see the line I'm drawing out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if I wanted this line to be totally straight, can you see? You will see that all of them are in the same line. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So the moon, for example, is not here. The moon is not here, for example. Okay. So if the moon is up there on the red circle, that means it's not on the same
No
line.
spring tide.
Yes, so it's not spring tide. So spring tide happens when the three of them, the sun, the moon, and the earth, are in one line. Now you understand what I mean by that? Like they are
Yes.
next each other. They are next each other. Okay?
Yes.
But on the same line. Yes. So let me get out from this this tool. Get back to the PowerPoint. Okay. Now we have another type of tide, which we call neap tide. And this one happens also when high tides reach their lowest level. So both of them happens during the high tide, but one of them happens when the high tide is at its lowest level. But can you see the difference now, Amr? Can you see that the moons are not on the same line with the sun?
And the earth.
Yes. So I'm sorry about that. Let me get the line here. Let me get it for you. Okay. So let me get back to the line so you can see the difference. So here is a line. Can you see? Now we don't have them
Yes.
in the same line. It's only the earth and the sun on the same line, but the moon is actually perpendicular or is on a 90-degree or 90 angle with the earth. So it's not on the same line anymore. Yes. Can you see now the difference?
Yes.
Yes. That's nice. Okay. Then we'll move to currents, but we still have 4 minutes. I will actually ask you guys if you have any questions, and we can continue currents later.
No.
Do you guys have any questions?
No.
You can ask me anything. So it's understood today. Did you understand what's going on today?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a quick summary. These are the currents. The currents are the surface currents, or they can be actually deep water movement. but we'll talk more about them next time. I think it's enough for you guys to learn about both of the motions today. So if I wanted to summarize what we studied today, I would say it was the motion of the ocean, right? It's nice words, motion of the ocean. How many motions do we have?
Three emotions.
Three ones. Thank you so much, Can someone mention them to me?
Waves, currents, and tides.
Yes. Can someone tell me what causes waves?
Can I say?
Can I say?
Yes. We have, I think
Uh,
some people knew because only look Isel. Isel is there raising her hand. Yes, Isel, you can speak up. Yes.
The air.
Wind.
Yes, it's wind. Thank you so much. Yes, it's the wind or the movement of the air. Well done. Thank you so much, Isel. So it can be the movement of the wind, or it can also be some tectonic movements or earthquake happens on the ocean floor. Thank you so much, Isel. Yes. So what causes tides? What is the main reason for tides?
The sun and the moon.
Yes, it's the
The
gravity of
gravity.
sun and moon, but who's the one that is most controlling it?
The
Moon.
moon.
The moon. Yes. Why is that?
Because
Because
it's
the moon
close.
is the close,
Yes,
is
it's
closest than
closer
the
to the
sun.
earth. But what is the difference between the two motions? What is the difference between waves and tides? What do you mean by waves and what do you mean by
waves,
tides?
tides have happened by gravity, and waves happen by the plates moving or the
Wind.
Yes,
wind.
so both of them are actually energy moving through the water. But the wave shape is totally different than the tide. Waves are just the surface of the water moving around like
The
tsunami,
wave
for
is higher.
example. Yes,
The
but
wave is higher.
tides is how high or low the sea level is. Remember that?
Yes.
So thank you guys for joining today. I will take names now.